Hi guys, good morning. Today we are at day 7 and there was a special request from many people around the world. Actually, they wanted to know how we can install AX 2009 on Azure. So guys, it's quite obvious that at those times when it was AX 2009, Azure was no much not so much famous, and the virtual machines were still used, and they were hosted on that. So today's lesson is more focused on today's video is more focused on how we can actually host a AX 2009, which is Microsoft Dynamics AX 2009 on Azure. So first of all, we require a virtual machine. So now this is my screen which I have shared, the portal.azure.com, and we have the valid subscriptions. So I will go ahead and create a resource. So we need a virtual machine. So as we know, those who will be coming from a AX background or non-AX background, so they must be knowing, but those who are coming from a non-AX background or a fresher, what happens is AX is authentication is based on the Active Directory. Okay, and obviously we will not have an pre-installed Active Directory. Okay, so we will so basically the Active Directory gives the users permission to access the application. So but the application data will also be residing somewhere, so it needs a database server as well. So we have three requirements. First requirement is Active Directory. The second requirement is the SQL Server, and then third requirement is the installation ISO of AX 2009. So what we will do is we will try to create a VM virtual machine. I will just use Windows Server 2016 and see if it is available. Okay, let me see. Okay, I will just try to create it. I don't need actually the core, so I will look for a data center edition. So this is the data center edition, so I will go with this, and I will just make it as a AX 2009 server, and I will host it in my favorite zone, which is East US. And the resource group, which is automatically created, I will leave it as is, or I will just create a MSD, basically Microsoft Dynamics 2009. That time it was used Microsoft Dynamics AX 2009. Okay, I have created a group, and right now I don't need any availability set or an option. I will say I am looking for something greater machine. So I will go for 16 GB of RAM, and then I will use the username as Azure user, and then the password. Okay, and then the port which has to be accessed, which is 3389. And I have the licenses from my MCT, so I will just say I use them the license so that the cost get reduced. I will use the standard SSD. I will have the default encryption done from the Microsoft, and then say next. The network subnet and IP is automatically generated, which is good, and I will just leave it as is. No node balancing is needed right now, and I will go next. Management. And then I need only the boot diagnostic, which is okay. And yes, I need the auto shutdown. I need it for yeah, 7 p.m. Oh, maybe I will make it as 9 p.m. today, and I will make this in my time zone, which is India, so that if I leave it, it will actually shut down so that my cost is saved. So I will get the alert. on my ID, and I don't need backup, no site recovery, guest patching is not needed or updates is not needed. I will just say next. No prerequisites tags. I will use the tag as dev VM, and then I will use it as the AX 2009. I've used the tag. You may or may not be using a tag. So with the help of tag, you can actually have the costings, or you can just tie up the resources very correctly. That's the whole advantage of tagging it. Okay, so while it runs the final validation, this gives the per hour cost also. And if it is required, you can send it to your manager for approval. So this is how I do it. If there is a manager approval seeking, so validation has been passed, I will go ahead and create the VM. This might take some time. In the meantime, what we will do, we need two. Um, okay, so we need. Okay, so let me pull up the notepad so that you can understand. To run an AX 2009 in all-in-one server, basically what is required is first requirement is operating system, which we are doing. Maybe the VM is required, and then top of it we need the operating system. Right now I am using Windows Server 2016. In earlier days we used even we have used Server 2008. Server 2008 we have used 2012. Most of the time people are also using right now. And then on top of this we need a SQL Server, SQL installed. So we need Microsoft SQL, which can be 2008 2008, yes. But I will get the Server 2014 SP1, which is supported. And then finally we require the application. So application, the issue is from where you will download. So we will have the ISO downloaded from the my.visualstudio.com. So I will show you AX 2009 ISO file is needed. So these three important components are needed. Okay, so once we have the OS, we will try to install the Active Directory. So Active Directory is, in older days we used to have the DCPROMo, but here promo, but here in 2016 we will add or remove the features and then promote that particular virtual machine to Active Directory. So this is installed. So I will go to the resources, and after going to resources, I will just try to connect it. Download. This is downloaded. Perfect. Okay, I will try to connect it. Yeah, so it is asking me for my user ID and the password. I will use Azure user, and then the password would be which I have created. This is my common password, so this will work out. Once this is connected, we will try to download the two softwares which is needed. First one is your SQL Server and SQL Media, and then second one is your um, AX 2009. Okay, so let it come up. Yes, so it is up now, and we will do quite things very parallelly. So this is the server manager, and let it open. I will just click on the local server and try to turn off the internet security. Otherwise, it will keep on asking lots of prompts. So I'll just make it off so that I am able to use the. Okay, I will go to add and remove features and try to install the Azure Active Directory. Sorry, the Active Directory. Pardon my modern. Okay, so this is my domain services. I will just install this and go next. I know the .NET features will be used in AX, so I will just installing it, and even in SQL as well. So right now we are not connecting it to the Azure Active Directory. That's the AD Connect feature, and I will just say next, install it. So while it is getting installed, I will try to open the Internet Explorer or the Edge. Edge is not there, so we have the legacy Internet Explorer. Let me try to open the Edge if it permits. I will just say OK, and I will just google.com, try to get the Edge browser. Yes, uh, download. What is this asking? Okay, forget it. I will do the Google Chrome. Now it is coming as download. No, better I will install the Google Chrome itself. It might be very good and very fast. So it is getting installed. Yeah, so we have two parallel servers, parallel activity running on. And this is the feature installation wherein we are actually trying to install the Active Directory. And in parallel, we are using the Chrome to download so that we can have the AX 2009 installer, as well as we should have the SQL installer. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I don't need to sign in right now. I just need my visualstudio.com. Okay, so you can search on the internet as well, but I know the URL, so I'm just pasting it. I will use my favorite mail ID, which is on Hotmail, and I will enter the password, and MFA should come in. Yes, just save the password. I'll just whitelist the request. It is done. It should log in. Perfect. So I think this is also in progress. Perfect. So I need to do undownload. In download, I will quickly search for SQL 2014 SP1. Let's see if it is there. Okay, so this is not there. Um, I will go for, okay, 2014. Okay, it is not there, but I will go with the Enterprise Editions SP3. No problem. Let's see if we have. Yes, so we have it. So I will go ahead and install Enterprise Edition. I will download this. Okay, so while it is downloading, I will also search for AX 2009. Perfect. So we got it. We have the license to be downloaded as well as the ISO file I'm getting downloaded. Okay, so this should be installed. This should be downloaded very quickly because these servers are in Azure data center and the speed is really fast. You can see the 3.1 GB of data was showing us just 1 minute and just it is showing 24 seconds left. So probably it will be done very quickly. That's what we need. We need SQL Server first. Ah, we also see whether this is installed is successful. Yeah, this is installed, and I will just, without disturbing this, I will just minimize it. The exclamation sign shows that there is a notification, and I should click it and look for the promotion of the promote this server to the domain controller. Yes, I need to promote this, and then it will ask me for the details. Yes, that is also installed. So perfect. So I will go to, let's suppose I make it, I choose the domain as AZ365, what we had, and dot XYZ, and see whether it is. Okay, understood. So this is actually, uh, I need to add a new forest and then click next. Perfect. And the password, I will remain the password as same. Okay, create it next. Next, it will automatically pick up the name. If not, I will input it. Yes. Yeah, so this is the folder, database folder where all these logs details will be saved for Active Directory. This is the common question in interviews, but that's the old story. Next and say next and install it. In the meantime, these are all, let me show it all. Yes. So, yes. So I think we can close this chapter. Yes, install. Okay, so there might be few warnings and all, but no problem. Uh, we will just try to go to the download, and our requirement is to install the Enterprise Edition. I will just say mount it. Okay, I will try to run the setup and see what our prerequisites we have. I am doing parallel installations so that our time is the video is still very small. Otherwise, it goes up to 1 hour. So I don't want to entertain that because long videos people won't watch. So I think I should wrap it up very quickly, or I will pause it for some time. But let's see how it goes. Yes, it came up. I will just quickly go for the oh, it is asking me to sign out because it is got installed, so it is okay. Oh, it is taking the restart, so absolutely fine. A standalone should be there. Oh, okay. So the restart would not take the much time. It should come up very soon. So let's see. Okay, so I will quickly go to the server and try to see if it comes up quickly. It might change the IP address. So what I will do, I will quickly go and configure the DNS so that it takes the static IP and say AZ or maybe AX 2009 VM. So let's see. Yes. So I'll just quickly save it. Yeah. So what happens is public IP will be saved as a static. So whenever I want to connect to my AX 2009 server, I will be able to take the RDP with the help of the public IP because it just restarted. So it might take a different IP since it was dynamic. So, but I first fixed it. I took it as a static. So let's see if my VM is back. So I will just take it the 52.186. Yes. Yes, I think we should, the server is back. We should be able to use it. Hmm. Okay. I got the point. So the it is taking the new ID domain. So it is Azure user is the name. The domain was AZ365 and then the password. It should come up. Yes. Perfect. So while it is restarting, it is coming up actually. It is waiting for the group policy clients to be applied. Normally we don't have the group policy in place, but let it come. Okay, so we were able to see that the PC is back, the server is back. So what we will do, we will quickly check. Oh, so okay. I will just quickly check whether the installation, the Active Directory was successful or not. So go to PC and say properties. And yes, so the computer name, the domain name, everything came up. And I see that it went to server 2019. We will try it. Um, installing. Let's see. I think it should install, but I wanted to choose 2016. I don't know how it is 2019, but let's see. Um, it should SQL Server will install and AX 2009 will also install. So we will see how it is compatible or not. And yes, it came up. I will just go to installation, take the new SQL Server standalone, add or remove features, and wait for the progress or the error. Yes. So I'll go next. I accept it. Go next. Yeah, it will actually pre-validate whether it has the installations or not. It is having. I don't want to look for the uh, updates. I'll then go for next. Yeah, so there are warnings, but they are okay. We will see next. Yes, so feature installations is needed. We will go next. And we will require the SQL database engine. Yes. Server application is not needed. Analysis services, reporting services, native is needed. Shared services, SharePoint is needed. Maybe I may configure my system. Uh, okay, I will not configure right now. I will just talk about the standard installations. Yes, complete is needed. Um, I think yes, this is what we need from SQL right now based on the AX 2000 application. We will add or remove the programs. Normally we will add it. So we'll go next. The instance is default as a SSMS. Yes, MSSS SQL. So okay, and then it will ask for the other details. Yeah, so over here, um, I will just make it as the domain name. Um, Browse and look for the Azure user. I will just copy this and I will try to replace it. Yes, and the password. Basically, you can use a service account, but right now I'm not making it as a production, so I can use the single account. Okay. General practices for production is to create a separate service accounts for all these applications. Like SQL will have different service account, and the AX will have the different service account. So right now I have just kept it as is, the startup type. We can also have the, if we are having a backup agent, we can actually turn this SQL agent as automatic. But right now let it be as a manual. And this particular, let it be as disabled because this is something SQL browser. So we are not using it right now. Just say next, it will validate it. I will use the mixed mode, or let it be on the Windows authentication mode. I will add the current user and I will say next. Same way, I will use the multi-dimension and I will use the current user. Go next and say install. So this is the INF file which goes to directly to the C drive. In production, we don't encourage to use the C drive. We should use a different installation file, installation drive as D drive. So I will pause this recording and come back once it is installed. Otherwise, the length of the video will increase. Thank you all. Okay, guys, welcome back. So basically, it got installed successfully. That's the very good news. And we will close this. This is all success. So we will close this now and we will switch to the AX 2009. Okay, so one tip that why I choose the installation of SQL Server after the AD creation, because you might have seen that I was adding the users. Okay, so that's the sequence we should follow always, that after Active Directory only we should go for the installation of SQL Server, and then once the SQL Server is installed, go and install the AX 2019 application ARP. So I will just say mount it and I will try to open the autorun. Ah, um, okay. Okay, so I think we might face the compatibility um, issue with the application. Okay, I think the setup worked. So I'll just say run as administrator. Yes. Mhm. So we have it there. Okay, so now it tells you about the installation, whether you go for a custom or whether you want a developer instance. So if you are an experienced people or a person, go ahead and do the developer instance installations. But if you are new and you want to learn what all components, which is the dependency, I would suggest to go for a custom installation. Now, I will just quickly open the SSMS, which is the SQL Management Studio, and see if everything is installed correctly. And over here, I will just say next. Okay, so we have all these components to be installed, like base, required, development, integration. So first of all, we will try to install all these four components and then the other one. Because this is the main, my sessions will be focused on these four. And if I go back and say connect, it should show. Okay, so reporting servers are installed and database is installed. Now, some people say that don't install the database from here. Try to uh, install a new database, create a new database, and then install. So I will just show you. If I say AX DB and go on the add, sorry, remove, and then say OK. So this is added, but I will show you what is the best approach. So best approach is to install the component by component. So I will start with the database. If I choose to install the application files, what happens is it will say, okay, we will install the application file and say next. But it will ask you where is the database. The instance name is this, but it will ask me the database name in the next portion. Sorry, it was to be a AOS. Leave it AOS because AOS will try to find the entry in the SQL. Okay, so in those days, it was supported SQL as well as the Oracle databases, but now from AX 2012 and higher, Oracle is nowhere supported. So I will just say SQL Server and click next. So once I say, it will ask me for the installation of the prerequisites, which is fine. Let me install it. I just wanted to show you if you have created a SQL database first and you create the it manually, then it will give you an error. And why it is created with the help of the proper installation wizard from the AX 2009, that will be the best method actually. So I will just quickly show up that any database which you have restored or you have just created as blank would work, but the difference will be seen together. So this is the prerequisite is installed. I will say next. Yeah, and say it is taking the database from the local server itself. But this approach I would not follow. I will just go back altogether and I will say that I need the database first. Okay, and then say next. And what will happen is it will select the SQL server and it will look for the database name. And the default database name used to be Dynamics AX1. So I will just say next. And it will only install the AX database. I will show you the difference between the database created manually and the database created with the help of this. If you finish, the database is completed successfully, created successfully. Now, if you see this database, let me refresh it. If you quickly observe the database structure of this and this, I will just show up. There is no tables. You will not find any table other than system tables if that exists. But in Dynamics AX, you will see mm, mm. Okay, so first time basically it is also creating a blank database. Maybe after syncing it will be available. So we will leave it as is and just minimize it and then run the setup again to install the other components. So first component which we installed is the database. The second component we will be installing the application server. We will be installing the AOS as a service, and then we will install the client as well. So I will go for the custom. First one is ticked already done. I will just say application, AOS and client. There might be few more requestees. It will try to just ask you for the show up the database, so which is okay. And there is the one file which is DHML editing component is needed, which is we installed quickly. Now it is showing me the database. I will just go ahead and say next. Yeah, so this is the instance name and this is the port name. This was the common questions in the interview in those days. I'll just say next, and I will say I will be using the uh, service account. So I will just say AZ365 and say Azure user and then the password and say next. It will validate and say OK. And the available language is lot many, but I will go for the English. Same way, application language, help test, everything we will go as a English. So these are the objects which will be installed. Application file, database we have already installed, application object server, which is called AOS, the client. And I will tick it as I start the AOS instance after the complete. So I will say hit install. So I am wishing that without a error it should install because we choose AX 2000 we choose the operating system to be as 2016, but laterly when we have installed everything and found that it is actually 2019. So let's see, this is my first time I'm installing it on the 2019. It should be a success, um, but let's see and wait how it adds up. So I will give a minute. Okay, so if you see in the background, there are copying files, ALD, AHD, zip files, AX. So in those days, there was a concept of layering, zip layers, SUP layer, sys layer, and then the files will be stored as a AOD. So all those concepts, if you are looking for development, then you should be aware of it. And if you are looking for administrator also, there must be a knowledge around it. Okay, so it is just installing the AOS now. Application file has been copied from the installer to the local folder. And then this is just a single server installation, which is quite easy. And you might face difficulties in installing the three tiers. So that's the most challenging, three tier or four tier, depending upon your application users and your delivery. There will be different set of configurations in the but configurations in the environment as per the company need. But if you have gone through a single server installation with the help of a component by component and you know what component is required where, then it will be a good idea to good practice actually to say that you know what AX 2009 is and how it can be installed. Because lots of the people, those who are coming from Dynamics 365 background, they don't know what AX 2009 is or was, even if they don't know AX 2012. So this will give you the a not very big picture, but at least it will give you a few tips and tracks how a Dynamics 2009 setup will look like, and how the installation files looks like, and how a application look like. Okay, if it is a successful, then I can showcase that as well. Okay, so I think it might take some time. Okay, so in the meantime, I will just check if we have the licenses files. Yes, we have the license files. So this is the MSDN license file. We'll just open in the notepad and see it is valid. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it is getting installed. I think it is installing the component client files. Even all those installations will be available over here, and there would be the new files. It will show up the new files. If you see, AX 2009 application got installed, configuration is getting installed, server is getting installed, server configuration, and then you will see the folders as well. Okay, so there are folders which got installed uh, as an application. So this is client. So let it finish successful, and once it is successful, then we will open the application for the first time. While opening this application AX 2009 for the first time, you will see lot of prerequisites checkboxes which to be mandatorily to be completed, because the system initialization will take place. Yes, perfect. So it got successfully installed. So I will just say finish, and I need to look for the services, whether the services are running well or not. So I will go to services and see if it is getting the service of AX 2009 is started or not. So in the meantime, I will just show you the database difference. Now a database difference should might happen. I'm sure about it. I need to connect it again. There must be differences. Here it should not be there, but in this is the database table, and here it should exist. Um, Maybe after synchronization it might appear. Um, okay, so we will do the synchronization and see. Over here, I will just see whether it has been installed or not. I think it was AX, so or Dynamics D. Okay, okay, Dynamics. Ah, yes. So this is starting. So we will wait for it to get started automatically. The position should change from the status just should change from starting to started started, and then this should be enabled as a stop. So that means this is successfully started, and you will be able to use the application. We will also see what all applications got installed while we install the Dynamics. And if you see that this is all our service accounts. So AOS got installed, SQL Server got installed, Agent got installed, analysis services, installation, integration services, and reporting services. So all this will be used. So that's the reason we have installed this. So no problem. We will see if it is getting started successfully. It is still in the starting phase. Um, at that time, I think we used to use the command as um, net start. So let me see if I can able to use it. Net start, then the application name. So this is the service name. let me look for the correct command. So it is net start. I'm that sure, but I'm not sure why it is starting. Okay, so it is net space start. Mhm. Yes. Okay, so if you can see the services is starting or stopping, please try again later. So so basically it it says that the services are in either in stopping or is in starting state. So we need to wait. Either I can cancel this and start it through the command, but since this is the first time, it is manipulating. It is trying to hit the services AOS and do the uh, do the syncing between the database as well as this. So I'm just looking forward so that the services get started. So let's wait. Let me pause it for some time because this might increase the recording time. Wow, so we are lucky. You can see the screen that it is in the running state, and I will just minimize it. And in older days, what we used to do is we just say go to run. We just say we just typed in those days AX 2009, AX 32 actually, and say enter. See, it is already populating. So either you say enter or you click on this. I will just run this as an administrator for the first time so that we see what all things we need to do it. So we have the initialization checklist. So this is the first prompt which is there. Obviously from the database and we can actually select none for participation from the backend. If you Google on my name, you will get the command for it. So just say get rid of it and then compile the application. So to be very frank, while you use the AX for the first time, compilation is very important. So just say compile. So now this compilation would take around a good amount of time, probably 1 to 2 hours. So in the meantime, it is doing, we will just say stop the recording. Okay. We will pause the recording and then I will come back to this. I will definitely today show you the modules, a list of modules and how it looks like in those days. Yeah. So let's resume. So we see that the compilation of the application is completed with the check mark green. Now it is, I can close this as this is done. Now it is asking for the provide license information. So what I will do, I will just quickly load this license. I will browse it on the download folder. Perfect. And I will open it and say OK. So while it accept the changes, it might do a small sync. Yes. So configure the application functionality. We will do it later. I will just click on OK. And then customer feedback form, I will just say no. I don't want to wish for the feedback, but you can actually, if you want, even this also, I'm just saying OK. And now another synchronization of the database will happen. So this will be quick, I guess. And later, what we can do is we will try to open the AX parallelly. And AX means AX 2009. And try to configure run as admin and try to configure rest of the pieces. Okay. So, okay, cancel. Okay, so if you can see this, this is synchronization is going on. In the meantime, I will just try to, okay, so this is synchronization is dependent on initializing the system. So this should not work on a parallel basis. I will just get rid of this. So let it synchronize. I will just pause it again. So as I said, this was very quick. I will just go ahead and create the company account. So this also will be by defaulted by date company. I will just say save and exit. Global address book, same way. I will not create it right now. Configure system account. This is the business process account. So I have not yet installed the BC connector. So I will just say OK and import data. I don't want to import any data right now. I will just say OK or just cancel. It will take checkbox will appear and sorry. I will just say configure role centers and say OK and then we are done. And also I will try to prevent a checklist and I will just say it is done and I will close the application and I will try to open this again with the help of the run as administrator. This time it should come up with the complete first menu. It is yes. Okay, see, these are the uh, so these are the modules. This is the company and these are the modules which are available. You can see general ledger, cost accounting, bank, CRM in those days, and then we have the account receivable, payable, inventory management, master planning, production, product builder, shop floor control, shop floor control, human resources, questionnaires, balance scorecard, expense management, project, service account, basic administration. So I think my demo is done for today. And we will resume and we will see what we can do in the next session. In the meantime, if you need any specific topic to be get explained, I am more than happy to do that. So thank you very much for the watching the video, and also I will request you to please comment, share, and um, subscribe the channel. Thank you very much. I am logging off for the day. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you once again. Take care. Bye bye.